welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story that was actually sent in to my other channel, SSM. However, like some recent ones, it's so out there and wacko, it's honestly better for over here, and that's what I'm doing over here. This story is all about a guy, a husband who's 31, and is now, at this moment, kicking his wife to the curb after she's been, well, definitely up to no good. You're going to see how he thought he had a good marriage going until one day over breakfast, she has to have a post-nuptial agreement. Definitely set off some red flags here, which led him down a whole rabbit hole investigating her to find out that, guess what? She is having an affair with her boss and female coworker, code BFF, and is trying to con him out of a whole bunch of money to start a business. It is a never-ending drama fest. I'll be very going to go over here, guys. Wants to show you always have to pay attention to the red flags. When your wife suddenly, after a few years, is asking you for a post-nup agreement, something's going on, big time. And of course, paying attention to the dynamic between her bosses, her friends, all that type of things. And of course, any hinting of open marriage, it's over, which you're going to see here. Now, it's a long one, guys, as you can see here at the start of this video. So I'm going to jump right into it, and you're going to see more I'm talking about without revealing too much. It says, hello SSM. They say that bad things comes in 3. This is about 3 bad things my wife wanted to do that led me to throwing her out and getting a divorce attorney. First, a quick background. Julie, my wife, and I are both 31 years old. We both met when we were 24, dated casually for about 2 years before becoming more serious. We married 3 years ago. I'm a partner in an architectural firm. Julie works at a property management firm. We have no children. Well, thank the Lord you have no kids, and thank the Lord you're 31, haven't been married that long, and your prime's just beginning, my man. The property management firm is owned by a licensed real estate broker whose name is Richard. The company rents and sells properties, collects rents, and contracts with vendors for repairs. The firm's clients range from individuals who own just one property that they want to rent, to those who own multiple rental properties, to large HOAs with hundreds of units. Julie is a real estate agent. Her duties are renting properties her company will manage and selling properties that owners no longer want. She works with her best friend Mia, who has the same responsibilities. Julie's been at the same job for about 4 years. The first bad thing. In the middle of last December, out of the blue, at breakfast, Julie told me she wants to talk about a post-nuptial agreement. How interesting. You telling me there's no prenuptial agreement, my man? Smack! I asked why, after 3 years of marriage, she's suddenly interested in a post-nup. She told me that she's been talking about this with a coworker, a new hire who just went through a horrible divorce. Their divorce became final last summer. I'd be like, do you have a winning lottery ticket you haven't told me about, or some inside information on an investment you want to make? Why the sudden thing about the post-nuptial agreement? There was no infidelity. Her husband was just no longer wanted to remain married. But because of the emotions associated with the dissolution of the marriage, what should have been easy took forever and was very costly. Their divorce attorney used the emotional roller coaster of the divorce to prolong everything and milk them for every penny they could get. Well, that sounds like a stereotypical divorce attorney. Remember, they make money through the billable hours, and a lot will drag things out. What should have been a quick, simple, no-fault divorce became hellish warfare. The emotional conflict of the divorce was made much, much worse by the greedy attorneys. The solution is a post-nup. A husband and wife can come to a sane agreement about how to split assets when they're rational and still care about each other. Yeah, that sounds all fine and dandy now. With a post-nup, lawyers can't use the divorcing couple's emotions to escalate the divorce into a bigger moneymaker for themselves. The divorce is basically already done. What do I think? Yeah, not buying that whole, the divorce attorneys can't find a way to drag it out and toy with emotions. Please. I asked Julie if we were divorcing. Julie got up and sat on my lap, put her arms around me and said, absolutely not. She will never divorce me. She loves me too much. But I may get tired of her and want to move on. How interesting this conversation's happening, the timing of this, and after 3 years. We don't know what the future holds. If we decide to divorce with a post-nup in place, the divorce becomes simple and quick. We would not need to spend a lot of time and money trying to hurt one another while making the lawyers richer and us poorer. Regardless of why either of us want a divorce, the Post-Nup will provide the court with an equitable, no-fault divorce settlement that she and I could work out now. It's funny, it's always the guy that wants to do these things, but when the woman wants to do that, particularly after they've been married, something's going on. Massive red flag, my man. I said this is a at-fault state. If I was cheating, wouldn't she want to use that in the divorce? She'd get a much better settlement. If I was committing adultery, the Post-Nup she's proposing will prevent using infidelity in the divorce. Well, if she's cheating, then hey, she gets away scot-free. She got off my lap. She was angry now. She asked me if I'm cheating on her, and I said no. What a little drama queen. I've never cheated. She asked why I would bring up adultery if I wasn't cheating. Why would you bring up Post-Nup unless you have something up your sleeve, honey? Or in this case, up your skirt and thong. She asked to see my phone. I gave it to her. I don't believe that married couples should have secrets. Ha 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 ha. Well, I don't believe it either, but it doesn't mean they don't. And there was nothing on my phone I needed to hide from her. She went through my phone and gave it back. She wasn't as angry, but told me that if I'm cheating, I better agree to the Post-Nup. Otherwise, she'll take me to the cleaners. Let's remember this. She's getting mad at the prospect of him cheating. Okay, we remember this here a few minutes into this story. She told me to think about the terms of the Post-Nup. She'll contact an attorney to write up. Once we agreed to the terms, Julie finished breakfast and left for work. That's some sleazy, smooth-talking real estate agent, huh? I learned later by watching your videos that people who are cheating on their spouses accuse their spouse of cheating either because they don't believe anyone is faithful or to deflect from their own infidelity. That tends to be the case, my man. Or both. Whenever Julie asked about the Post-Nup after our talk, I just told her I'm still thinking about it. There's no rush, is there? The second bad thing. We spent Thanksgiving with my parents, my brother, and his wife. So we spent Christmas with Julie's family. Her parents, her sister's husband and their kids, an aunt, and a couple of cousins and their spouses. My wife's sister and her husband are in their late 20s and married right out of college. Dumbasses. Our brother-in-law always fawned over his wife. He's absolutely smitten with her. Anything she wants, he's there to provide. Pfft, smack! Jackass. Now you know why she married him so quickly out of college. Let's see how that works out for him. There was a very different dynamic between the two of them at Christmas dinner this past December. He planted himself on the couch. She sat on the couch arm and would not leave his sight unless he told her to get him a drink or get him some hors d'oeuvres. I was about to say horse dues. Hors d'oeuvres. Usually at these family dinners, the only time they're together is when they arrive and when they leave. Also at Christmas dinner, he was barely civil with his wife, ordering her around while she was attentive to his every wish. What's the problem here? I want a beer. Okay, honey. I want some horse dues. Okay, honey. I'm kidding, of course. Real role reversal. When a cousin's husband came up to her to say hello and catch up, she said hello and immediately got back to her husband something to drink. The cousin's husband was baffled by her rudeness. She's usually very friendly and flirty, not last Christmas. That night in bed, I asked Julie why her sister's relationship with her husband seems to be a 180-degree different. Julie told me that our brother-in-law caught her sister cheating. Aha! Now she's on her best behavior. He saw a message on her phone and she could not explain away. Her affair had been going on for some time. He told her he wanted a divorce. She told him that she loved him and wanted to remain married. The affair was over and she'll do whatever he wants. Yeah, waiting on him hand and foot. Isn't this the couple that they haven't been married that long and he waits on her hand and foot? Look how that worked out for him. He agreed to remain married and try reconciliation. But he made all sorts of demands about knowing what she's doing and where she is at all times. He also made it clear to Julie's sister that she would have to do all the work to save the marriage. She suggested marriage counseling. Her sister didn't know why she cheated. Maybe she could find out why she did and what she did in counseling. Her husband would be there to help her fix her problems, and he agreed to the counseling. I have expected Julie to ask me again if I was cheating, but instead she wanted to talk about her sister's marriage counseling. Julie said her sister is providing Julie with all the details of their therapy. So much for confidentiality. The counselor woman told them it was not uncommon nowadays for a spouse to find excitement outside the marriage. Nowadays, guess what? People have been married since the beginning of time when marriage became a thing. People have found others attractive. Okay, that's not a new thing. Although we are in Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 though. It was really pretty normal. This was especially true of people who've been married for a while and who are in or approaching their 30s. They haven't been married that long, for goodness sake. What's this therapist fucking talking about? Is this therapist a fucking 27-year-old recent grad, Gen Z graduate? That's when a marriage starts to get stale. It didn't mean that the wandering spouse wasn't in love with their spouse or wanted to get divorced. It was just something to spice up their life a bit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. If you're cheating, you're not in love. That's a bunch of horse crap. Fire that therapist. Although, this girl obviously likes the therapist because it's justifying some of her actions. In the case of Julie's sister and her husband, the marriage counselor told them that the wife's infidelity is not a rejection of the husband, but an additional component of their marriage. Bullshit. Our brother-in-law didn't do anything wrong except not accept his wife in all her aspects. Accept her cheating. This is why, guys, don't do the fucking marriage counseling, because overwhelmingly they're going to take the wife's side, or they're going to try to make the relationship continue on and make it the husband more the bad guy, or say he wasn't doing this, wasn't doing that. This is complete nonsense. Julie's sister receives emotional fulfillment from her husband because she receives attention and excitement from her boyfriend. What I tell about attention and validation, the husband should not try to hinder that. Hold on, the therapist is saying the husband shouldn't get in the way of that. She deserves her attention and validation. Isn't this a female therapist? Here we go with the sirens. Instead, he should stop being controlling, get past his fragile male ego, and let his wife be the complete woman she needs to be. Where the hell are they, California? He will reap the rewards of having a very happy wife who loves him all the more because he's so understanding of her needs. It will all be good for the marriage. Yeah, that works out real well. I asked Julie if the therapist thought it was a good idea for the husband to cheat too. Julie said she knew I was cheating. Why else would I want to know if the therapist said husbands would cheat? Who was I cheating with? Here she goes again thinking you're cheating. For how long? I assured her again I wasn't cheating and had no plans to. But what did the therapist say about husbands cheating? Good too? Julie said the issue of husbands being unfaithful hasn't come up to her sister's therapy sessions. Just her sister's needs and wants, and why her husband should be encouraging by her fulfilling those needs and wants. This female therapist, obviously has a problem with dudes, has a problem with any traditional conservative values, obviously issues with religion, and now is telling this gal everything she wants to hear, and now she's telling the guy who's narrating the story here, his wife, what she wants to hear. So her sister's marriage counselor believes that opening the marriage, at least for Julie's sister, is good for them. Julie said that's what her sister tells her. I asked Julie if she brought this up because she and I are in our 30s and we've been married for a while. Is Julie suggesting that an open marriage would be a good thing for us? Don't you just love how they can find opportunities to squeeze in these little things and manipulate the situation? That's what's going on. Julie went silent. Well, that's a first. The bitch never shuts up. I didn't say anything, waiting for Julie to answer my question. If Julie thought an open marriage is something we should try, I'll find a divorce attorney in the morning. You're darn right, my man. After a bit, Julie asked what I was thinking, and I kept silent. Julie isn't stupid. She decided to play it safe and change the subject. Oh, no. She says she thinks I'm actually very suspicious. I'm always bringing up husbands cheating. I should come clean and confess if I've been unfaithful. She is just looking for any excuse to cheat, get a divorce, open marriage, anything. I opened my phone and gave it to her again. I asked if she thought it was okay for wives to cheat, just not husbands. She said it was not something that she would ever do. But wives cheating wasn't as bad as husbands cheating. I told her I was going to sleep. Oh my God. Well, my man, you should have waited a lot longer to know this chick before you married her. All this crap going on, it's time to end it. Don't waste your fucking time. Looking back, I should have gotten the divorce lawyer then. Yes, I did not. She didn't come out and say she wanted open marriage. She just danced around it. In girl language, womanese as it's called, that's her saying she wants open marriage. And it's time to talk to a divorce attorney. This is going to hell in a handbasket real quick. The third bad thing happened right after New Year's. Oh, joy. Julie came to me and said that a fabulous business opportunity just fell in her lap. Did she really just say fabulous? Her boss, Richard, wants to open a new property management company. Some of their clients aren't profitable, but it will be very difficult to get rid of them. So Richard wants to open a new company, move the profitable clients there, and leave the clients who aren't profitable with the old company. Eventually, he would close the old company and be rid of the clients he doesn't want. How does Julie fit in? Richard wants her and Mia, her best friend who also works for Richard, to come with him to the new company. They would each invest $100,000. Julie and Mia and Richard would run the new company. Aha! Now we know why she's talking about the Post-Nup agreement. And she wants to take $100,000 of, no doubt, the majority, at least half is your money, to invest in this company. But I'm sure you're not getting a fucking penny of this when it starts generating a return. Why her and Mia? Julie told me that Richard said that she and Mia were his best employees and wanted them for the new company. Would they be equal partners in the new company? Julie said no. Oh, how interesting. Property management companies have to be owned by a licensed real estate broker, so Richard would own all the stock. But Mia and Julie would be sort of silent partners. So Mia and Julie would get no stock in the new company. Oh, no. Not happening. You own, if you're going to invest money in a company, you're owning a percentage of it, depending on obviously how big it is and all that. Since they're helping him get this thing started on the basis this is true, then they're getting a percentage. And anything other than that, nope, walking away. Yes, there are silent partners in businesses who do get a cut and own a cut, but I smell lots of bullshit. It says here, so that's right, legally they can't be owners. But the three of them would be partners. Julie and Mia partners behind the scenes. Yeah, but still, they still own a piece. So we're giving Richard $100,000 and we're getting no equity in the new company. Julie said it's not like that. She and Mia are real estate agents, not brokers. She can't legally own the company, but she can be there for her share of the profits. What is her share of the profits? Julie and Mia would eventually split 50% of the profits and would continue to get their normal commissions, sales, and rentals. What did I think? Well, what I think is still I don't trust this broad. I think she should get her broker's license and she can start her own company as opposed to somebody else that you can't trust. I asked how we would get the $100,000 to him. She said they didn't discuss that, but we can just write a check. But can't we just write a check? No. Even if we gave him the money as a couple, we would still have to pay gift taxes on most of it. It's either an investment, a loan, or a gift. Which is it? Julie said it's an investment, but we'll have to be done like a gift. What prevents Richard from taking the money and telling Julie to get lost? Julie told me that Richard would never do that. Why not? Julie blushed and said he just wouldn't. He's an honorable guy. Yeah, but that's all fine and dandy, but I'm going to take more precautions with my $100,000. Thank you. I told Julie I'd think about it. I lied. I won't think about giving Richard money. But I wanted to find out what was going on with Richard, me and Julie. I researched property management companies. A licensed real estate broker has to be part of the property management company in our state. A property management company needs a licensed broker on board so the company can list, rent, and sell properties and do all that is involved with that. He supervises all that is legally responsible for what agents do. But it's bullshit that a licensed broker has to be the owner or even an owner. Someone is lying. Julie has to know it's not true that Richard has to be the only owner of the company. What is she playing at? Well, either he's playing her or she's playing you. Somebody's getting played here. And you're definitely being played. I decided to get a PI. My brother is 4 years younger than me. He married his high school sweetheart right out of high school. She wanted to get married to get away from the horrible situation at home. He thought he was saving her from that horrible situation by marrying her. My brother's wife just brought her parents' terrible marriage with her to her marriage and to my brother. And that's what happens when you white knight. After about a year, his wife told him that she wanted to remain married, but she had a boyfriend she was not going to give up. She understood if my brother wanted to divorce her. He did. He was 20 years old, heartbroken, and vowed to never marry again. Well, nobody can blame him, but also he was a fool to rush into marrying this chick, so young, so inexperienced, and a damaged chick. But anyhow, 4 years after his first marriage failed, he started to see someone he fell in love with. Smack! God's sakes. Before he proposed to her, he wanted to know everything about her and her immediate family. He found a private investigator to investigate her, her parents, and her two siblings, their marriage and finances. My brother wanted to know about any hint of infidelity or financial problems. Were any of her family marriages dysfunctional? He was not going to save anyone from a dysfunctional family again. Well, I'm sure he could have gone over to dinner with the family and probably figured that out real quick, but okay. The PI looked at their finances. The PI had people follow her, her parents, and siblings. Well, I want to know how the PI is looking at their finances. Isn't that illegal? I'm just curious about that. The PI was determined to find something on someone. He even spent time investigating her two best friends. Both her friends were happily married. The PI could find no infidelity. The girl my brother loved had no exes or other guys hanging around. A lot of guys hit on her, but she always shooed them away. She was only seeing my brother. The PI failed to find anything about her or her family. All immediate relatives and had happy marriages. No infidelity, no drunks, no drug problems, no criminals, and had no financial problems. A very rare family in today's world. He told me it was incredibly expensive to have a PI do all this, but it was worth every penny. This time he knew he had the right girl. He proposed to her. She loved him. She told him she loved him, but they should get to know each other before they got married. How about that? That was an idea. They shouldn't rush things. They married about 2 years later. She's the best thing that ever happened to him. Well, you know what? Good for your brother, and I wish him all the best. But that's all fine and dandy now, but talk to me in 10 years. My brother gave me the contact info for the PI. He also suggested I start watching your videos. Aha, shout out to the brother for sending you to me. He told me I would need them to wade through what is coming. I've been watching, and more accurately, I've become addicted to your videos. Well, thank you for your support, brother. It brought me to the realization I should have started asking more questions when I suggested the Post-Nup back in December. I should have hired the PI then and not wait another month, but better late than never. You didn't know. I met with the PI. He's a retired New York City detective who moved to our city to continue to do detective work. I'm sure he was more than happy to get away from NYC. A very gruff, no BS, straightforward type of guy. I told him what Julie was proposing about going into business with Richard and Mia. I wanted to know everything that there was to know about both of them, finances, boyfriends, girlfriends, past and current marital statuses, everything. He asked if I wanted to include my wife in the investigation. I told him only as it relates to Mia and Richard. I would say while he's on the job, I'd have him investigating your wife too. What's the harm? Within 1 week, the PI called me to tell me he has information I requested. We met on January 12th, and here's what he found. Richard's wife divorced him for infidelity. Aha. Is this the same Richard that wants to go into business with your wife? The divorce was final last August. She got alimony, the house, and child support. Richard needs some money. She got half of his property management company. That's why he wants out. She gets half of everything he makes. He's not investing any money in the new company. Richard has no money. So, he's conning your wife and now conning you to get money because he has no money. Mia was named in Richard's divorce as the woman he cheated with. Aha. Evidently, they've been lovers for years. Their relationship broke up. Mia's marriage about 4 years ago. Mia is not investing any money in the new company either. She also doesn't have any money. So it's all going to come from you. They filed documents with the state to open a property management company. Richard's brother is listed on the incorporation documents as owning all the stock, so that his wife can't take it. Well, they're divorced now, but I guess laying claim to any future profits or something. Mia is listed as the registered agent, the person they send legal documents to. Julie and Richard are nowhere on the incorporation documents. They are legally all set up as a business. They just need money for office space, employees, etc. to get started. I asked him how he found all this out. He said most of this is public. I don't want to know about what he found out about Richard and Mia's finances. I asked him what he thinks is going on. He said Richard is basically working for his ex-wife. He works, she gets half of what he earns, etc. He's figured out a way to get money and not give any of it to his wife and children. He opened a company which his brother legally owns. Legally, Richard has no ownership of the company, so his wife can't take her half. Well, did he open this company after they divorced? Or was it open while they were still divorced? That's my question. He'll be an employee, so the new company will have the licensed broker it needs to operate. He won't take much in salary. His wife can have half of that. She won't know about the profits he'll be taking out of the company behind her back, and she won't get any of that as well. The PI continued before the divorce is final. A divorcing spouse spends a lot of time looking for any money their spouse might be hiding. After the divorce, most people just get on with their lives. Richard's wife gets a copy of his tax return, but Richard will hide behind his brother. His brother looks like he's the one making all the money, and he'll pay taxes on that income. Well, again, after the divorce, I don't see how okay, who knows, but once they divorce, if I'm not mistaken, that's that. There's the agreed upon, she's getting a piece of this, piece of that, future profits from a business that existed during the marriage. But if you were to start a brand new business after the divorce was done, that's where I have questions with regards to her claim on that. Unless she had a bad fucking divorce and they set up that he starts a new business and his income increases, she's getting a cut of that. I don't know. But it's really Richard's money. Just none of that will appear on Richard's tax return. There will have to be a paper trail of Richard taking money, but his ex would have to suspect something going on even to look for the paper trail. Richard is probably hoping to hide that he's part of the new company from her. If she finds out about the new company, he can tell her he's just lending his name for a small fee so the company can say they have a supervisory broker. So it's not legit. The PI said Richard's brother is a druggie and spends most of his time at clubs. He supports himself by selling drugs in and around the clubs. The PI's guess is that the brother doesn't even realize he's owning a company. This is just a way for Richard to hide the money from his wife. He'll take the customers from his old company to the new one. He won't have an equity position in the new company, so there's nothing for the ex to take. If the wife figures out the scheme, she can take it in front of the judge. Who knows what the judge will say? In the meantime, Richard will have the income the ex knows nothing about, working for himself again. And you're $100,000 to get the whole thing set up. Does Julie know about this, or is Richard lying to her? The PI doesn't know what Julie knows, but there's something else he needs to tell me. Uh-oh. Or show me. He pulled out his iPad, opened the video. It showed Julie, Richard, and Mia leaving a house. Richard had his arm around Mia, Julie kissed Mia on the mouth, and then Richard on the mouth. Shocker. Passionate kisses. As Julie started to walk away from them, Richard gave Julie a smack on the ass. Julie jumped a little bit from the smack and turned and smiled back at Richard and Mia. Then she gave Richard what can only be described as a standing lap dance. She shoved her butt in his crotch and wiggled it back and forth. This was the end of the video. I'm sorry, bro, but not surprised. Nobody else is surprised. The PI said they were coming out of a furnished house they listed as an available rental. Julie, Richard, and Mia had arrived about an hour and a half earlier. This was them leaving. No one else entered or left the house while the three of them were there. The PI's people have watched them for about a week. During that time, they met at this house twice. The video made it clear that their relationship, the three of them, was more than just a professional one. I told the PI what is clear is that Julie is cheating. He said the video would not be conclusive for a judge. I can find out for sure by either looking at Julie's phone or by having him place cameras, video, and audio in the rental house. Oh my God. If the three of them were hooking up, they're doing it at this rental property, maybe other places too, but at this place for sure. Yeah, they're hooking up. Duh. But I know they need more than what you just saw to convince a judge, if the judge gives a shit. The PI suggested going to the homeowner with the story about being hired by the local real estate authority. The PI will tell the homeowner that they have a complaint that people from the property management company are using their properties for illicit purposes. Ooh, that could be good. His property may be one of the sites they're using. They can find out one way or the other by putting cameras in the house. All they need is his permission and a key to the place. The PI suggested doing this first. Looking at Julie's phone will just alert them. If the homeowner refuses the cameras or we get nothing, I can always look at Julie's phone. He said, if I'm planning to divorce Julie, there's nothing like giving the judge explicit videos of her hookups. I said, there are no complaints about Julie's company that I know about. The PI said he will file a complaint, so there will be an official complaint on record. Oh, there you go. I asked if the homeowner would believe a story like that. The PA replied that I should look at it from the homeowner's point of view. He's getting 24/7 eyes on his property. It costs the homeowner nothing. He's not the one being spied upon. The PI has a good reputation. The homeowner can check. The PI knows something at the local realtor association who owns the PI a favor. The PI will file the complaint with this guy. If the homeowner has questions, I'll tell the homeowner to check with the guy who took the complaint. The guy will verify everything for the homeowner. He won't say who made the complaint. That is confidential. Well, your PI obviously is experienced here. The PI said the real estate association will investigate the complaint themselves, but that won't happen for a while. Besides, it's all true. The PI is willing to bet that they're using the place for illicit activities. The PI looked at me uncomfortably and said, "Sorry, but there are 3 of them are having SEX. I should prepare myself to look at some really nasty videos of my wife." Well, I think at this point, this guy, number 1, is not surprised, and B, is numb to the situation. I'm sorry it's happened, bro, but Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. The PI continued, it's very legal for a homeowner to have cameras installed in his own home. Obviously. He'll find out if he can trust Richard's management company or not. Wouldn't I want to know if that was the homeowner? At no cost, I told him to approach the homeowner and get the cameras installed, and he did. At least I knew now why Julie wanted the Post-Nup. That mystery is now solved. There was no new female hire who was taken advantage of by her divorce attorney. It was Richard's divorce that made Julie want a Post-Nup. Richard's divorce was devastating for him. If I discovered any infidelity, our divorce would be devastating for Julie. Unless she has a no-fault Post-Nup in place that prevents me from using infidelity in our divorce. While waiting for the results from the PI, Julie kept asking me about the money for the new company. She's relentless. This was her chance to own something, her chance to call the shots. I asked her if Richard was a good businessman. Julie said he was a great businessman. So he should have lots of money. Yes. Why then does he need Julie and Mia? Julie said she explained this to me. He wants to lock her and me into the new company. Offering a share of the profits locks them in. Nobody is just going to for the goodness of their hearts, offer somebody a piece of company if they got the money to back it up. Now, obviously, a lot of people don't want to put all their money into a new venture or business. I get that, but even still, she's like wording this like he's doing this out of the goodness of his heart. No. I told Julie that we can't give him a gift. We're responsible for paying the gift tax, and it'll be way too much. But I'm willing to loan him the money if he has unencumbered assets to put against the loan. And he says in parentheses to us, the audience, says, "Don't worry, SSM, I'm not loaning this scumbag anything. I was just stalling until I hear from the PI." Julie became furious at my suggestion of a loan. Why did I have to make everything so difficult? Because it's my fucking money, lady. Or at least half of it is. I was standing in the way of her advancing in her career. I have to trust her. Richard will not run away with the money. He'll do what he says. Our money is half hers anyway. Why was I throwing us roadblocks? Was I jealous of her success? Twisting things around, the gaslighting, the drama, never ending. This is a good investment, and I told her to ask Richard if he has any assets to put up against the loan and see what he says. So that is where I'm going to stop this, and we'll continue on part 2 an hour, 2 hours from now, because it's getting pretty long here. And we're going to get more into our guys' adventures here with the PI and everything coming together on this awful wife and this low life Richard and all that. So you guys, I know you want to hear it all right now, but just bear with me. I got to take a break. But anyhow, guys, stay tuned. An hour, 2 hours from now, part 2 of this whole thing, see how this whole thing plays out. See you then.